Do 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 do. Do 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 do. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. La 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 la. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of CarToonin'. Woohoo! So much fun. Can't you tell all the fun we're having right now on this podcast? Because, we're, just learning so much together, Yeah, it's very fun. So yeah, welcome back to another episode. This episode, I'm going to be talking about my favorite episodes of Big City Greens on Disney Channel. Oh yeah, I highly recommend watching Big City Greens on Disney Channel. It's such a fun show. Yeah, you'll definitely fall in love with it for sure. Oh, and look, I'm wearing a green shirt, which is perfect for Big City Greens, Ba-da-da. Oh yeah, so yeah. So yeah, I have the episodes up here. And so right now, Big City Greens, they're on season 3. Yep, and recently, this was last year, they announced that they're working on a 4th season, and they're also working on a movie musical, which is going to be on Disney Plus. So that's something fun to look forward to in the future. Yep. So yeah, I'm going to be talking to you all about my favorite episodes from Big City Greens. So let's get started. So obviously, the first episode of Big City Greens is called none other than Space Chicken. Yeah, that's honestly my favorite episode, because when it first came out, me and my brother, we first started watching Big City Greens, and we just really fell in love with that show. We instantly fell in love with the first episode, and we think it's very funny. Because there's just so many random things that go on in that episode, so oh yeah, when they're first driving on a tractor over a car, and then they land in their yard, and then Cricket, he says well, hi there, I'm your new neighbor, my name's Cricket Green. And that there's this one jogger, he didn't really care, and he just kept going, and Cricket, he just said hey, where are you going? Oh, okay, that's cool. Well, stop by any time. Yeah, and his dad, he comes out, and he says Cricket, what are you doing, boy? Have you lost your mind? Yeah, now Dad, I can explain. At first I was mowing the lawn, and then I was mowing other lawns, and then things just got out of hand after that. Honestly, I have no idea how I got back. Tilly, are you okay? I have seen danger, and I love it. So yeah, there's some memorable quotes that I remember from that first episode alone, Yeah, I feel like I could, do the whole episode, he'll just like do it like word for word, you know. Oh yeah, and like that's something else that you know learn about me because you know like when I was growing up and like watching TV shows, like I would remember like certain lines from certain shows, and yeah, my family, they're like very impressed like that. I like memorized it like word for word, you know. Yeah, like if only I was just like good at that. If I like applied that to like you know school, you know. Yeah, but you know we all have our different learning styles, you know. Like when we're like in school, you know. Yeah, but you know, I'm getting off topic, you know. We're talking about my favorite episode too. Yeah, so yeah, that episode, it's really fun. It's very funny, you know, and like yeah, there's some like memorable lines in that episode. Like so yeah, if you haven't watched Big City Greens yet, yeah, please go watch it. Like it's definitely worth your time, and yeah, definitely check out the Space Chicken episode. Like it's really funny, you know. You'll definitely get a kick out of it. Oh yeah, and like Cricket, he meets his friend like Remy, and he helps them like Cricket and Tilly, who are brother and sister, and their friend Remy's like they all try to launch a chicken into space. Like like that seems pretty random, especially for like a cartoon show like launching a chicken into space, you know. So yeah, definitely check out that episode. Like it's really fun. And also another episode that I really love. It's a steak night. It's the second episode of Big City Greens. That episode is also really fun too. Like there's also some like memorable lines in that one as well. Like you know they get you know like steaks from the supermarket, you know, and then they end up taking like the subway train. But then you know things get like chaotic a bit, and you know Tilly and Cricket and Tilly, like they both get distracted in the underground subway, you know, and like Cricket, he like loses the the stakes because he did some like dance battle. Yeah, and like it's just it gets really funny like after that, you know. Yeah. Oh yeah, and also yeah, another favorite episode is Parade Day. So it's you know when you know Cricket is you know working a job at the cafe. He first gets a job in the previous episode, which is Critter Ball Crisis, because you know Cricket and Tilly and Remy like they play Critter Ball, and like they end up like throwing all their balls over on the cafe side, you know, and Gloria gets mad, and you know she does tries to like pay back them, you know, and they pay back her with like the animals that they have that Cricket and Tilly have on their farm. Like yeah, and like there's like a mess at the end, and then the boss of Big Coffee comes in and sees the mess and almost fires Gloria, but then she gets rehired and they hire Cricket as well until he works off the damages. So yeah, and then we lead into Parade Day, and yeah, that's a really fun episode because Cricket's working the cafe, but his family, they get to see the parade in person because in the past, like they've been able to see it like on TV because they lived out in the country on a farm, but now they live in the city and they can actually see it in person. Yeah, but Cricket can't see it because of his job. Yeah, but like Cricket, he finds ways to to watch the parade, which is very clever. Yeah, but like when you're working a job, and there's like a big event going on, like you still have to work your job. Even if there's like a big event going on. Yeah, but like I agree with Cricket, like with him, wanting to like sneak off and like watch the parade for a bit. Oh yeah, so he like fails multiple times by sneaking out to see the parade, but then he remembers that when you're in a job, you get like a 15-minute to 30-minute break. And so he uses his break to go watch the parade, and Gloria is left alone to run the cafe. And like there's so many people that walk into the cafe literally after Cricket leaves to go on his break. It's like madness after that. Oh my goodness, yeah. So and then Cricket, he kind of sees the parade a bit, but like it was like going like so slow, and so he and Tilly, they had a plan to like reroute the parade so that way it can go like by the cafe. Yeah, and then like he could see it where he's working. So like their plan, like it works in the beginning, but then like something like failed, and like they had to do like another plan, and like they had to go through like a, a department store, and that's really crazy. Yeah, because like they had to have all those like floats like go inside the department store. Yeah, but then the parade does get on track, and Cricket, he's only has like a matter of like seconds left before his break is over, so that way he can get back to the cafe. Yeah, and then Tilly, she hands Cricket a balloon, like a genie balloon that he rides on to get back to the cafe. Yep, and then he does make it back to the cafe on time when his break is finished. Yeah, but like by the time Cricket got there, like it was already a mess because Gloria was only there alone to work the cafe, and Cricket does admit that he was a bad employee. And that's what responsibility is like. You're always gonna get responsibility as you get older. And you just gotta learn to accept it and grow into it. So yeah, and then Cricket, he ends up covering Gloria's shift, and then Gloria takes her break, and she actually does see the parade after all, so all's well that ends well. Yeah, but Tilly, she was in the parade. She was like pretending to be Miss Splish, who was actually there on the parade in the beginning. So yeah, yeah, that's another great episode. Yeah, you should definitely check that one out. Oh yeah, and also Uncaged. That's also another great episode as well. So, like that episode, that's pretty much just about when Tilly and Cricket and Tilly's mom, like she got out of jail because their mom, she was rebelling against the corporate farms because they were doing some like shady things, and she didn't really like that, and so she rebelled, but she ended up going to jail for that, so but she comes back, but apparently Nancy and Bill, the parents of Cricket and Tilly, so Nancy and Bill, like, they are divorced, and the grandma of the show, in the show, her name is Alice. She doesn't really take too kindly to Nancy because of her past and like going to prison. Yeah, and she doesn't like the fact that Bill married someone who went to prison. Yeah, which makes sense. Yeah, and so like pretty much like Nancy said that she had her own place, and the kids end up seeing her place. Yeah, and so Bill like let the kids go off with Nancy and Alice, the grandma, which is Bill's mom. So like she is like very concerned because her own son let his kids go off with an ex-criminal. And like she thinks that they're gonna do like bad things and they're gonna end up going to jail. But like you shouldn't always like judge people like that. Yeah, so yeah, and but then like afterwards in the episode, so like they so like Cricket and Tilly, they sneak out, they go to the zoo, and they free a monkey from the zoo, but in reality, in reality, they accidentally let out all the other animals in the zoo, and all the animals, they just like run wild and free, and they let their mom know, and she's not too happy about that, and that's when the police came, and yeah, Tilly wanted to like turn herself in, but yeah, her mom wouldn't let her turn herself in. Yeah, and so they like, Nancy, Cricket, and Tilly, they end up like sneaking out to avoid the police, and they start like gathering up the animals and putting them back in their cages, and Remy is also helping them as well, like to like track the where all the animals are, and like it's a really fun episode. Like it's just like really like intenseful, Yeah, and like and also like the police there like also like searching for them, and Bill and Alice, like they then like go and check on Nancy and the kids at her place to see if everything was okay. And they notice that they were gone, and Alice assumes the worst, that they were, in trouble, and they go out and find them. So yeah, and now there's like a wild goose chase going on right now. Oh my goodness, yeah. It's a fun episode, yeah. But then, afterwards, so yeah, Nancy, Cricket and Tilly's like, after they all like gather all the animals, the police, they end up catching them, and Nancy gives the monkey to Cricket, and Tilly, and they also have the other animals with them, and Nancy like distracts the police while they go back to the zoo, put the animals back in their cages, and they'll just clear this whole mess up. Yeah, and like it does actually work. It works out because Nancy distracted them. They're off to the zoo. Nancy and Alice, like they're still like searching for them, but then Bill and Alice, they see Nancy being chased by the police, and they start following them. Like, oh my goodness, So yeah, and then Cricket and Tilly, they're getting all the animals back in their cages, and then their mom comes and helps put in the last turtle. But then the police, they get there and like they almost like arrest them. Yeah, and like Cricket, he said, yeah, like, but we put the animals back, see, no harm, no foul. But then the officer says, like, how very nice of you. Unfortunately, that's not how laws work. And then like he tries to arrest like all of them, but the officer only wanted their mom because she's, like the main troublemaker, and like she confesses to something that the kids did, yeah. But then the kids, they tell the officer that they did it and their mom didn't do it because she didn't know about it. And, they like do it, out of love, Oh yeah, and there's this one line that Cricket says, like, so officer, if loving your mom is too much is a crime, then lock me up. Me too. Yeah, yeah, at that, like they really, really did that out of love, Yeah, but then Nancy reminds them that they don't have to, like the kids, they don't have to impress Nancy because they're already good kids, and she doesn't want them to be like her because of her past and being arrested, And this whole thing gets resolved, and Bill and Alice, they get to the scene crime, and everything is all good. And like they were like very shocked that Nancy was helping out the police, But Bill, he was right all along to trust Nancy to let the kids go off with her, So yeah, so all's well that ends well. Oh yeah, and then there's this one line that Cricket says to his mom. So are we gonna tell Dad about this? And the mom says, never. Yeah, well, which is true, like, because they would never tell their dad anyway. Oh wow, I could really go on and on, like, talk about Big City Greens, yeah. Oh yes, yeah, like, also, like what I did with my SpongeBob favorite episodes. If you want me to do a part 2 of my Big City Greens episodes, let me know in the comments. And, you know, I will do it, and we can talk more about episodes. Yeah, and let me know what your favorite episodes of Big City Greens are. And if you haven't already seen it, please watch it. You know, it's definitely worth your time, you know. So, yeah, thank you all for watching today's episode. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, car.toonin3300, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel, CarTooN. And yeah, that's it. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.